10 minutes to tell you about 3 weeks in Africa, specifically about the country of Cameroon. So Cloverdale has missionaries there. This is an image of the webpage for Louis and Linda Basai in their work in Cameroon. If you want to look at more reports, see more photos, and find out more about what they're doing, you can go to camwork.org, Cam for Cameroon, camwork.org, and see more about that. But their motto is saving souls, strengthening the saved, and serving the society. And so they were here with us a few years ago. Louis came and did training at Harding, and when they were ready to go back to Cameroon, Cloverdale is helping them to do that. So we have a long-term relationship with them as they were part of our congregation here, and we continue to be involved with them. So the entire campaign trip this summer was over a period of 3 weeks. There were 12 that came from the U.S. To Cameroon, and I'm going to mention their names here. Anna Lowe, Jenna Lowe, Chris Lowe, Kim and Amanda Toy, Benisa Okai, Mia Whittington, Jillian Sivia and Cameron Sivia, and then myself and my daughter Anna, and also Taylor Fluellen, who's not a regular here at Cloverdale at this point in time, but who was here and very involved with the Basais when she was in school. During the time that we were there, they were conducting their YEP VBS. So that was something we got to be a part of. The YEP part stands for Youth Engagement Program, and then VBS, Vacation Bible School. Louis and Linda are not just working with one church, but with many churches. They have their home congregation at the Bonaberry Church in Douala, the largest city of almost 3 million in Cameroon. But in the neighborhood around them, even over into other regions within the country, they are supporting, encouraging, teaching, and helping a network of churches to do youth programs for 4 weeks. We've gotten VBS down to 4 nights here, and we sort of work together. And they're doing it, they did it this summer in 7 different locations for 4 weeks. And so it's really Linda and another team of women put together the children's curriculum, and they helped the local churches get organized. And they had 700 young people in the YEP VBS this summer, engaged over a period of 4 weeks. Some met Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some only on Tuesdays and Thursdays for a half a day on each of those days. And they do Bible education, but they also do environmental education, health education, and sex education. I know when our team members saw the list and saw sex education on the list, they thought, I'm not going. And we said, we're not doing that part. The Cameroonians are doing that part. But one of the things that we appreciate is the fact that many of the young people coming are not people who regularly go to church there because their families go. 7 locations, on average about 100 kids in each location that are looking for something to do in the summertime and getting engaged in that. And sometimes when you go and visit the people that are out there in other parts of the world doing missions, you come home and you think, maybe we could do something like that, right? How could we take the same kind of mentality that they take? And we appreciate that. So let me show you a few pictures. I can't use very many words in the limited time. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. You can see, maybe you can see Douala here, right here on the coast. The capital of Yaoundé is a city we flew through, but was not where we were doing our main work. And so you can see also that Cameroon is right here in the Big Bend of Africa, right there. So we were right there on the equator. Here is Louis. Up speaking on, I think this was probably a Sunday morning. I think he's leading singing. You get Louis up speaking, you get preacher, DJ, MC, all those things in one, comedian. And he was translating, he was introducing me, and I was explaining that I had Louis was a student, and he was an okay student. He translated it, and he used the French word excellent, which I don't think... So anyway, everybody, they were speaking both English and French, so they sort of understood that. And Louis has graduated in a sense. He's still preaching and he's still working with the Bonaberry congregation there in Douala, but they have a full-time preacher, which allows him to be more of an organizer and coordinator across congregations. And that's exactly why the people in Cameroon wanted him to come, to be a resource person, to get extra training here, and to be really in a position to have that perspective and to do that there. This is our group, along with the Basai family there, joining with them there. And you might notice some of our people wearing their Cameroonian attire today, and so they were able to purchase that while we're there. For Chris and I, Linda went shopping and bought us shirts, and I thought, okay, that's pretty nice. I'll wear that to church. And so people are stopping going, oh, wow, you're wearing something different, but that's all right. I'm glad to do that. So we were really glad. They kept us in their home. They kept 12 of us in their home. They've been building a new house, and they hurried up and got rooms ready, and they didn't stay in their regular rooms so that we could. And we were very integrated with their family, and it was just a beautiful thing to participate in. This is Yep VBS happening. This is actually happening on the site of what may be the oldest church building of a Church of Christ in Cameroon. But there were lots of kids, they wouldn't all fit in the church building, and so shade becomes class. Right? So you're looking for a shady space in a classroom. You can just see that they had about 100 kids here, and this was outside the city. This was out in a village area where they were coming in, walking in every day when the VBS was going on, participating in that. Here's a couple of our team members helping. What they asked us to do was not teach all the classes and prepare all the curriculum. They asked us to provide crafts that related to the lessons they were learning, sing songs, and play games with the kids. And when we stop and think about this in perspective for just a minute, let me share with you, it's expensive to go on a mission trip. It's expensive to go all the way to Africa. And our per-person cost was pretty good, but many of you donated. Your regular contribution, just like we just had, provides mission funds, but then we needed more, and many of you contributed to that, and we were so thankful that we were able to cover our costs and to go and do this. But you have to ask occasionally, is it worth that cost to go and teach a few crafts and sing a few songs? No, but it's worth that cost to encourage, to go and show love, and to let people in Cameroon know that there are people here who share the same faith and who study the Bible as seriously as they do, and who love them and want to help and encourage them. So they recognize, the Basais recognized, and the local leaders recognized that the main teaching is going to be done by Cameroonian Christians. But if we would come and encourage, that would mean a lot. And so they love the fact that we're there. They made it easy for us. It was actually pretty easy for us to do that sort of thing. So that was our role. So we see some of that going on. Their theme was, I'm special, I'm wonderfully made, right? So you can think of some scriptures that talk about that. So this craft project was puppets, and each person in this class was supposed to make a puppet that sort of looked like them. So the color of their clothing and maybe the way they had their hair and that sort of thing, they were making that and having a lot of fun doing that also. If you want to make a friend, just pull out your phone and take pictures. You will find friends, both boys and girls, who want to see what that might look like as well. And sometimes your job is just to take one friend and just spend a little extra special time. And so we got to do that and loved doing that. You can see also local preacher and Chris sitting in the background. At the end of their 4 weeks of Yep VBS, they would have a closing ceremony. And the parents were invited to that. And so this is strategic. It gives the children a goal to work for. Your parents are going to come. You need to know your memory verses. And they would do a skit, and they would sing songs. And so there's that motivation. But it also helps the church to know not just the children, but the families, and to make contact. So there's a win-win situation. Except when you're an American, you don't quite understand everything that's being said, and you have to sit for a 3 or 4 hour closing ceremony on a bench where you had to bring your own cushion, let's just put it that way. And So that's some of what's going on here. And we love for kids to learn memory verses, but that kid that knows 40 memory verses, it's not your favorite kid while you're sitting there waiting for this to move on. So there was some really impressive memory work that was done. Okay, in just a minute, I'm gonna play a video. We'll see if we can hear the audio here. But this is a song. You're going to hear the children singing, and it's in English. It's heavily accented, but see if you can figure out what they're saying. But I'm going to prepare you for this song to say they are teaching kids about health and personal protection, like against even abuse. And their songs are very direct, and they sing about that. And they're not tiptoeing around these kind of issues anymore. They were very direct in what they had to say. Let's see if we can play the song.
My body belongs to me.
My body belongs to me.
It belongs to only me. It is mine and not yours. My body belongs to me. It belongs to only me. It is mine and not yours. If you touch my private part, I will tell. If you touch my private part, I will tell. I will tell it to my mommy. I will tell it to my daddy. If you touch my private part, I will tell.
Okay. Yes. My body belongs to me. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. And maybe the time is coming when, in our own culture, we need to not tiptoe around issues, but be more direct. Certainly in conversations with our children, we need to be talking about things that are really happening. So in a culture where people are widespread and where there are opportunities for people to be hurt, they are actually addressing very directly these issues. And you've got to appreciate the courage and the frankness of the Cameroonian people in these matters. This is a picture of a closing ceremony. So toward the front are parents seated under a tent. Everybody's looking for shade in the tropics, and so they're under the shade. And the children there, you can see, are ready to show what they've learned. So songs, memory verses, skits, and so on. But parents came out, and at this point, no matter where you are in the world, everybody has a cell phone. And so the parents are taking pictures and making videos and so on, and they're going to go back and they're going to show that to their friends. Now think about the impact that has for the church. Look at what my child did, and this church was organized, and it's really a wonderful thing to think about. We spent a lot of time in a bus bouncing along hard roads, moving from location to location, and I thought the group would appreciate sitting here this morning saying, I'm glad I'm not on that bus. So I thought that was good. This is another closing ceremony. The people on the right wearing blue shirts are the leadership team. These are the staff. Some of those are from local church. Some of those are from the organizing team of leadership. Linda is there helping manage things. The parents are off under the tent. And you can see how crowded it is. This is a big deal, a big event that we're all coming together. Louis always wanted one of us at the closing ceremony to say something. And so he was hoping for like an hour-long sermon out of me and Chris. So he was getting about 10 minutes out of us in the closing ceremonies. But you can see them working here with translation with both children and parents listening in to what's going on. Our group also got involved in other things besides crafts and songs and teaching. Here they're involved in food preparation, learning about how to do this kind of thing in Cameroonian culture. There were fruits and vegetables everywhere. It's just beautiful to see the markets and wonderful to get to participate in that and be part of that. This, you would say, is the home congregation building for the Basais. It's the Bonaberry Church. You can see the name of the church there on the sign and information about Camwork and also information about service times. So I thought you'd appreciate that. The upper floor there are the apartments where the Basais lived for many years. The new regular preacher there is in that, and the Basais have moved out to their house, where they're saying they get a few less visitors than they did when you're living in the apartment above the church building, and they're grateful for that. Also, while we were there, there was a preacher's workshop, and we had lessons on planning, and Chris Lowe also taught about how we use our money. I did lessons on the prophets of the Old Testament and preaching from the prophets. And so in this picture are the attendees that were there at the end, but over 100 Cameroonian preachers came together. Some of them traveled hours in order to come together, and they spent the night. Were there part of Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Well, Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were part of 4 days. They came together, and it was so wonderful to hear them sing. All songs sung in the bass clef, by the way, and to enjoy that and to be with them was a really exciting thing. Here's Chris doing his part and teaching. Actually, I think he's teaching on Sunday morning in Bible class here, but he also taught while the preachers were there. And so we appreciated that. We did see one baptism while we were there. It's a man about 50 years old, baptized, not because of anything in particular that we did. He had been thinking about it and studying and decided while we were there he'd be baptized, and he was so happy. He was so happy to have this day come for him. But even Jesus took the disciples away for a little while from work. And so on our last full day there, the Messiahs took us a few hours away to where there was a black sand beach in a volcanic area. And so we got to wade in the water and drink coconut water straight out of a coconut. If that's your thing, yuck, but go ahead and do that. And so, if you go, you get to do some of these things as well. So here we are gathered with family and also just some of the local Christians and some members of our team here. And I'm just going to end on this one and say it astonished us to see tears in their eyes as we were preparing to leave. I think it's impossible for us to know and appreciate how significant it is to our missionaries and to their families and to the children that we worked with and to the churches there that we come and say that we are a part of the same fellowship and we love what you're doing. Can we pray together? Dear Father, please bless the country of Cameroon, that more and more people would come to know you as a God of love and redeeming grace, and that more and more people would submit to you and be under you as king and part of your kingdom, obeying and honoring you. Especially bless the Basai family. Protect them from illness and from harm of any kind. Please protect them from accidents and the heavy traffic. Provide for them what they need and nourish their souls with your Spirit. In Jesus' name, amen.